Okay, everybody, welcome to Georgian Otakus. I am Brandon. This is.
Tim.
We are here to talk about bullshit in the world, some anime, Star Wars, and then some gaming. And without further ado, let's figure out what the this is gonna be.
NANI?! I have you now.
Well, hell, you pay more attention to the news than I do, so what's going on in the world, dude?
Well, I mean, if you listen to the news, you learn that more things are bad than what your life may be. So sometimes it helps knowing that other people are more fucked up than you are.
This is true, but I don't give a shit about other people, to be honest.
Well, on a more personal news towards everybody, gas prices were at 4.19 last week, and this week when I was driving home, yeah, a lot of gas stations started dropping to 3.70. What do you think about that, Tim?
Sounds like a plan, man.
Sounds like a plan. It's the major plan. It's how you control the economy. The more it costs in fuel, the more everything costs in general. That is distribution 101. If it's too expensive to ship, then it's going to be too expensive to buy the product. But on that, it coming down so rapidly, do you think we're just seeing another thing just like we did for end of November into early January, where they pulled reserves from the Federal Reserve of gas just to drop the price for a month, just to satiate the public, and it's just going to go right back up again within like the next 2 weeks?
I mean, honestly, that's what it sounds like they're doing. They're just trying to save their own hide at this point.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm as with everybody, I'm hoping the gas prices will continue to either go down or stay at 3.70 at least for a while, but still continue to go down bit by bit. But I really think it's just them manipulating the market temporarily just so that they can make it look better, because they are in a the administration itself is in a entire fucking shit show, and they have no way to dig themselves out.
I mean, they've been in a shit show the past few weeks, or hell, past few months. Hell, let's even go past the past year or two. Since Biden came in the office. I mean, the Democrats have been in a shit show for a while. They don't know what they can't figure out their heads from their asses at this point, dude.
They couldn't act their way out of a fucking paper bag. So damn right. One thing, I was watching something, and this dude made a very good point, and I have to agree. Trump was a proactive president. You did not come to him saying, "We're gonna do this, and you can't stop me." And then Trump had to react to what they said they were gonna do. Trump anticipated everything and put force. Okay, well, I'm ready to counteract whatever you're gonna say. So you better take the next 2 seconds to think about what you're gonna say before you say it. Was basically what a type of president he was at this point. And this gentleman noted that the Biden presidency is a reactive government. Everything's reactive with him. Russia has been putting troops on that border for over 3 months now, basically. Very slowly, just stockpiling along that border. Why didn't Biden already make deals with other countries to import more oil so that as soon as Russia pushed in, boom, we're getting rid of all your oil. We're not taking anything from you. You're getting no money. But no, instead he's grabbing at straws, giving people probably amazing deals, because now he needs to give people that oil so that local gas prices don't go up, local distribution prices don't go up. He is completely reactive, not taking any initiative. And as we know in the military, if you're not taking the initiative, you're getting fucked in the ass by everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, dude, yeah, look, he's never been avoid. a proactive president. Hell, he's never been proactive in his fucking life the past, goddamn 50 years probably. I mean, honestly, at this point, the current government doesn't have any real backbone. They don't have much of a spine. Uh, and unlike, you know, Biden, Trump actually had a pair of balls between his legs. Biden ain't got nothing, man. Um, he ain't got the guts. He ain't got the balls to do or say anything about anything in the world. I mean, if he did, we wouldn't be in the current situation we are. Especially in international affairs. I mean, fuck, dude, we're just right now we're the laughing jokes, the laughing stock of the world again right now, man. And we haven't been that way since fucking Obama's bitch ass was in office.
That is very true. We also haven't been in a fucking recession again since Obama has been in office.
This is very true as well. Now the other thing is, along with that, is you gotta look at what they're, all the other bullshit that they want to do for other people. They're more willing to help uh other countries before helping their own people, their own constituents. They'd rather, oh hey, we know you hate us, Egypt and Syria, but hey, we'll give you a couple million doses of the COVID vaccine, for example. And then over here it's like, well, fuck, we could still use those. We still got people that need it, or shit like that. And it's like, no, 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 we're not worried about y'all. We're worried about them. It's like, why the fuck are you worried about other nations, man? Like, they didn't put you in office. We did, fool.
That is a good point. And just on a little caveat, apparently, uh, good old Doctor Douchebag has been trying to peddle another scare tactic of we can't rest on our morals. Things have been going good, but uh another variant will pop out soon, and we're gonna go back into lockdown. Man, fuck that dude.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is another it's a virus. All right, it's literally a virus. Yeah, you can come up with a vaccine for it to fight certain a certain strand or strains that are out there, but at the end of the days, those vaccines aren't going to prevent you from getting it. They decrease the chances of you getting it, but don't take it away completely. And then I mean, as the good Dr. Fuckstick should know, uh, viruses can and will mutate, and different strands will slowly and surely start to pop up. I mean, he's a fucking doctor. If he doesn't realize that by this point in time, then he needs to fucking turn in, his doctorate and all of his fucking certifications and go be a fucking jackwagon somewhere else.
That is very true. That dude does not know jack shit about shit at this point. And even then, if people don't really pay attention to the fact that your flu vaccine that you basically get every year, it is not the same one that you got the year before. It is constantly being adjusted. We can't live in fear of a virus continuing to peddle itself to try and keep getting us sick. And even then, you put us in lockdown for almost 2 full years. People were just staying at home, doing nothing, losing money. And not only that, they were losing their own immunity strength because they were just doing nothing but staying at home. You wonder why last year there was a lot more people in the hospital? Because people haven't really been outside too much. So when the common cold came around and the flu came around, it really hit people. I mean, shit, even I was out for a day. Luckily, it didn't cost me any money. I was off the same day anyway, but that whole day I lost it. I was in bed. I couldn't barely even get up and go to the bathroom. Like, it felt like I was completely hungover. I literally couldn't stand on my own two legs. And Tim, even you, what, like a month ago, you got pretty sick too.
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty sick, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, is this, man? The America we live in now is just they listen to whatever Big Daddy Stam says. All right, instead of thinking with their own fucking brains. Uh, you know, I mean, hell, when we were in school, you had the SARS, you had the bird flu. I mean, that didn't stop any of us going from fucking school and getting I mean, whatever kind of education we were fucking getting at that point in time. You know, I mean, it's it's a virus. It's just like the flu. It's here to stay. It's never gonna go away. It's been introduced into the world. It is now here to stay for the rest of our existence. I mean, and it's just a fact of life that we have to, accept. And people who are willing to accept that are realists, and those who are willing to, you know, sit there and want to hide in their house and stay away from everyone. Well, they're still living in fucking la la land and need to wake the fuck up.
That is true. People need to wake up. And on top of waking up and going back a little bit more into Russia and military stuff, um, I don't know if you really paid attention enough, but the president of Ukraine had a video conference with our Congress. Do you really know anything about that?
Dude, I ain't hear jack shit about that, but I tell you this now, the Ukrainian president, he's got balls. I mean, fuck, look at him. He's standing up to fucking Russia. I mean, whether you say that's something or not, I'll leave that up to, your own personal opinions. But the man in this country are standing up to Russia. I mean, that takes some serious balls. I mean, most people would probably just roll over and be like, ah, well, fuck, we're screwed. He's like, nah, fuck this, we fighting.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, we're still kind of going into a repeat of World War II. We still it's basically the same thing. It's just like Britain saying, "Give us the tools, and we will get it done." Is basically what he's saying. And on that note, he basically told Congress, "Okay, we're asking you to do a no-fly zone. Okay, standard population. If you don't know what he means by a no-fly zone, oh, the FAA just puts a no-fly zone and nobody flies there. No, it's not the U.S. The U.S., if you tell pilots to not fly in a no-fly zone, guess what? They're going around it. They're going around, or they're not flying low enough to get into the bubble. This is a military no-fly zone, and that's what the presidency and the media needs to say whenever they talk about this subject. It's a military no-fly zone. What the Ukraine is asking is that anything that flies in that airspace, they want the UN or any neighboring country to shoot it down for Ukraine. That's what they want. In other words, if we send our own people over there flying in that airspace to make sure nobody else is flying, we are actively killing Russian pilots, i.e., entering the war at that point. And the reason I bring up World War II is because Britain was doing the exact same thing, because his alternative, the Ukrainian president's alternative, was send us equipment, send us anti-air material so that we can shoot their planes down, because that's one of the things that's killing them the most is they don't have air. They need air. So give us anti-air equipment, which I don't see no problem in sending the material to use. That's, to me, that's fine and dandy. If you want stuff to fight your own, to slug it out with Russia, okay, here's some stuff. At the end of the day, you tell those big fucking military production companies, hey, give it to them, and you guys just take a tax write off for it. You guys make out in the end. That's all they really have to do. Those companies will take a tax write off. They don't care. As long as they're building stuff and making profit off of it, somehow, they don't care. We could keep giving them bullshit. We have stockpiles of bullets. Who cares? I mean, we have rifles too, but we don't want another repeat of the freaking pullout and just leaving all that shit behind.
I mean, yeah, but like you said, it's just they need the equipment. We have to be willing to give it to them. I see no problem in giving it to them, like you've already stated. But honestly, it's just this this current government has no real backbone. They're more of the appeasement kind of attitude instead of the
Well, yeah, that's why we go back to they're They're the reactive government. They're never the proactive government.
In a nutshell, they're a bunch of bitches.
Yes, they are. And just to kind of round about this whole topic, Russia has been supposedly talking to China a little bit, and obviously, if China gets involved, we're still repeating our history. Two major powers creating an axis and going together. But the more fearful of that is that if China wants to actually take this opportunity to push onto Taiwan, not a lot of people understand it. Taiwan is basically uh, they're basically your electronic manufacturer. Everything we're basically sitting in front of right now, every single thing that has computer components in it, processors and things like that, guess what? It's almost all manufactured in Taiwan. We're not able to really do this stuff without Taiwan. If Taiwan starts getting invaded by China, the U.S. will have to extremely react to it.
Dude, if China invades Taiwan and the current government doesn't do anything, then that speaks volumes on where they stand with the international community. You know, if they're willing to let China steamroll Taiwan and fuck over us in terms of being able to buy computer parts and everything else, I mean, then people aren't going to be happy. And the sad reality is people think that the prices for computer parts were bad whenever COVID hit. Fuck, man, if China invades Taiwan, man, hell, prices for computer parts, graphics cards, motherboards, everything, them suckers gonna skyrocket.
Oh, skyrocket. They're probably not even going to be purchasable, honestly. But I mean, that also puts a damper on our military manufacturing at the end of the day. That's a lot of computer components that go into fucking all those goddamn jets and shit. I mean, what I did for artillery, technically speaking, that was barely kind of entering a more modern age for my piece of artillery equipment. Yeah, equipment. The M777 Alpha 2 was really only an Alpha 2 version because it had a mission computer in it. We could still fire it though without that, but obviously, just like anything being done more technological, the factor of doing it mechanical starts to drop off. So even in the schoolhouse, people that came back from the schoolhouse after being trained to be a chief, you know, they still most of the training they got that, from what they said, was about doing old ball and stick kind of methods, because at the end of the day, if that mission computer goes down, battery stops running, you just can't charge it, whatever, you got to go back to old ball and stick. And as anybody knows, mills is a very precise tool of calculation. If you're off by 1 mil, you could be shifting that shit pretty goddamn far. So if you're doing a danger close mission, you can't afford to be 1 mil off.
This is very true as well. I mean, but anyways, uh, changing the subject from shit world bullshit. Uh, what's our next topic now?
You always want to go so far through this way too fast.
I just, man, we start talking about it and we both get into it. Then we're never gonna have time to talk about anything else.
Well, that's what we got to do because we haven't actually been talking about it that long. But let's detour kind of off of just Biden himself and his whole clusterfuck that is him and his people. Obama 2.0, or not even a 2.0, it's like Obama 1.-3. But let's go on the topic of just politicians in general. We all,
Scumbags of the world.
yeah, no shit. But one thing that the government is not good at doing is limiting their own power. They shoot it down. And one of the big keys is that, why is it that the presidential has a limitation? Why is it your local politicians in offices have limitations, but your congressmen and your senators don't have any limitation whatsoever, really? Oh, people are gonna say, oh no, they do have limitation. Yeah, but they're not as strict a limitation that it should be because they want to stay in power.
Wait, they have limitations?
They have some, but it's not like they fucking follow them. I mean, look at it. Pelosi is still doing insider trading, even though she says she's not. Oh no, I'm not doing insider trading. No, but your husband is, bitch.
Oh, you meant those kind of limitations. I thought you meant term limits.
Well, I mean, overall limitations. That's still one of the big key things that they don't put any term limits on themselves. It gets
I mean, yeah, they
introduced.
don't want to.
It gets introduced, but it automatically gets shut down because all your bigwigs that have been there for fucking 20 years. Look at it. Pelosi doesn't run for president. Why? Because she's in the head of the Congress. She does not need anything. Why should I become president? I'm the oldest person here, and I'm basically in charge, so I don't need it. I just control the puppet Democrat that's in office from this seat right here, so I don't need it. And I got more than enough money.
It's true. But at the same time, I mean, getting them to have limitations is, our term limits, I should say, is going to be very hard to do. I mean, the only way you're probably ever going to have that shit done, man, is if you drag these motherfuckers out of office and, you know, say, we're done with you and your fucking corrupt bullshit. We're putting in new, you know, representatives and senators, and they will only serve, you know, say for senators, they'll serve a maximum of 3 terms. You know, House can serve a maximum of, you know, 5 terms.
Okay, so on that note, so what it is that congressmen are a 2 year term, very short in so they gotta. That's one of the miracles how Pelosi has been in power so long.
You gotta rephrase it, because when you say congressman, people think of the entirety of Congress. You gotta say for the House of Representatives, a representative's term is 2 years, and then they have to run for re-election. A senator's term is 6 years, and then they have to run for re-election.
Well, that's why I said congressmen. Congressmen only are in the House of Representatives. Your Senate is made up of senators. That is the Senate. But the senators have a 6 year term, like you said. And at this point, it's a miracle that Pelosi has been getting reelected every goddamn time. She's been in politics for like 40 damn years. This bitch has gone through like 20 reelections. How?
Because California's retarded.
Well, I mean, it's not really the entirety of California, but San Francisco is certainly retarded. When we talked about last week, and I put together our video, San Francisco, San Francisco was in over $60 million of debt, and the only reason in that article, the only reason it said that they were going to get out of debt is because the current administration, in its like build back better plans and shit, said it was going to give San Francisco like $600 million, pulling it out of debt. They were going to give San Francisco just the money to pull itself out of debt for the most part, but it doesn't mean it's going to fix San Francisco. San Francisco's going to go right back up again.
That's ridiculous, dude. I mean, honestly, there's no point in trying to fix half the stuff over there. I mean, truly, honestly, the problem is with this is the fact that they're in it for their own self interest. After maybe their first 1 or 2 terms, they're in it for the constituents, but after that, you know, they're in it for themselves. They got the money, they got the power, they let it go to their heads, and then it's just a nightmare and trying to figure stuff out with them. I mean, it's they're fucked up. I'll put it that way. They're fucking snakes. They're snakes in the fucking grass.
Yes, they are. They're fucking. I mean, at this point, they're boas in the grass, and for some reason, people still don't fucking kill them when they slither by. But when it comes to term limits, I'm thinking what we should be doing is limiting each thing to 20 years. You can't be a congressman for more than 20 years. You can't be a senator for more than 20 years. You can cross between them. After you're done doing 20 years as a senator, okay, just like in the military. Hey, you can't be a terminal lance. Either you do the you do the work to become a corporal or you're getting kicked out. Same thing for staff NCOs. They have a time frame. They have to be able to be promoted. As long as they're basically in promotion range, they're fine. They still have, no matter what, they still have to wait for the position to open up.
But hold on, let me separate that. But you gotta understand, dude. If you try and do 20 years, that's not gonna happen with a senator. You have to decrease their term by 1 year in order if you want to make it 20 years. Because you gotta remember, the senators is 6 years. So the most you can say is you can do 3 terms as a senator, and then you can do your last term as a House of Representatives, and then you can't run for re-election for either one.
Well, for that one, I thought about giving them the leeway, let them do 4 terms, but obviously within that fourth term, they can't apply for re-election. So they'll do 24 years, but at that point, that's your choice. If they do 3, okay, you want to give them, just like military, after 20 years, you get full retirement. Okay, okay, fine, we'll give you the retirement because that. Or if we want to be dicks, like, nah, you guys will do 4, you guys do another term. You'll get to 24 years, but you have to earn your retirement, so you do it again. But at that point, you're forcing these guys to actually progress, just like we have to do in the military. Okay, you became a congressman. Okay, from congressman you become a senator. If you still want to keep going after 20 years in the Congress, you do your like 24 years as a senator. Okay, well, guess what? If you want to stay in politics, you're done. You got to go up to the big house. You got to go fight for that. Go fight for it. It's the same thing as progressing in the military.
Yeah, I can completely and totally understand that. That's perfectly reasonable. Like I said, I'm not defending these motherfuckers by any means. I mean, fuck. To me, they're all fucking snakes. They either need to be fucking thrown out or they need to be fucking, they need their heads chopped off. They need to go bye bye.
Well, on top of that, yes, people need to go bye bye, aka Biden and Pelosi. Go bye bye. Which is why I also say we need to institute an age limit for them. And I'm saying 60. If you're still if you're still a representative when you turn 60, okay, finish out your term. But obviously, you aren't getting reelected. You've reached your age limit. Oh well, I wasn't in for 20 years. Bitch, you should have started earlier then. That's not
I
our
mean,
fault.
dude, here's the thing. Yes, I can get behind that 100%. Yes. If you're still a House of Rep member by 60, yeah, you need to be fuck. Nope, that's it. No more. You go bye bye.
I mean, shit. Look at it. Our president and Nancy Pelosi were born near the end of World War II. Come on. Why do we have people in office that were born in World War II? That's complete and utter horse shit. Why are they still trying to represent us? They are so far gone. They don't give a shit.
They got one foot in the grave. I mean, hell, the best we can do is hope they fucking finally fall in.
Damn right. And then I want to hit them where it hurts. I say we got to hit them where it hurts. We got to hit them in that pocketbook. And by pocketbook, I mean, I don't know if you'd fully agree, Tim, but I say if you're a House of Representative, your money for that position should be coming from your district. Because the only reason you're going to actually fight for your people is if your money comes from where you live. You got to make sure that these guys are taken care of, or else you're not going to get your fucking money.
Yeah,
Because
but that's not going to happen because you got to remember they control the pocket. They are the purse holder of the government. So, unfortunately, that will never happen.
it'll never happen if we keep letting them decide. But as far as I know, there is nothing that says the people cannot force this upon them. What I think needs to happen is that a national vote needs to happen, just like you do for the fucking presidency. A national vote needs to happen done by the people on on limits to congressmen and senators. The people need to vote on it, not those fucking bastards. They're never gonna limit their power. The people need to limit their power.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, you can do that, but like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, unless someone's willing to take that foot, that first step towards that goal, I mean, it's never gonna happen. I mean, people are greedy in the world, dude. People like money. People, and you know, unfortunately, we have to come to the reality of it is that money makes the world go round.
Yeah, money makes the world go round, but just like everybody talks every single time, the people need to do this. The people need to do this. Okay, well then the people need to do it. Sadly,
But no
I don't
one's
know
willing to
how.
take
We'd have
that
to look it up,
charge.
but I say we should be pushing this subject. The people should be doing this type of vote. The people in power should not be giving themselves fucking raises. That's fucking bullshit.
How's about this? What I would say is if you're in the House of Reps, right, your maximum salary should be, I'll be nice, I'll say 125K. If you're in the Senate,
Well, are you talking about like 125K, like even when you barely start?
no, like in general, 125K from when you start to the day you fucking leave office. Like no raises, no nothing, 125K.
So are you talking about like
The only way
after
you the
20
only way you
years?
get a no, the only way you get a raise is if you decide to go from the House of Reps to the Senate. You know, and then say if you're in the Senate, you have you know a standard salary of $150,000.
Yeah, but that's why. Are you talking about like, as soon as you get in there? Because remember, if you're a congressman, that's not supposed to be a full time position. That's not a full time job. It's supposed to be a part time job more off.
Like as soon as you start, that is your salary.
So you're saying this random person should automatically start making $120,000.
Yes. The only reason I say that is because I love money.
I say you start them at 60,000, and then they progress through there. It's the same thing as the military, dude. You have to make the incentive to stay.
No, I say 125's fair enough for them. I mean, you gotta think. They still have to be able to
Dude, 60
do
grand a
stuff.
year is a good money to work off of.
I still say 125. I mean, we're let's just agree to disagree on terms of on salary.
I mean, we're not full ethic business people,
Oh, oh God, no.
but we still understand the aspect of natural living versus politicians who just don't give a fuck because they're part of the wealthy elite for the most part. So they don't care what the fucking regular person has to deal with. But also, it should be pending also, on, as always, the adjustment of natural living within your state. We're not saying just leave them at the price. They could adjust for the state itself, but all their money shouldn't be coming from the federal government. The money should be coming, and wholeheartedly, I think, the money should be coming from the state itself, because if their money's locked to the state, then that means these congressmen and senators, they need to make sure their state is operating at a good fucking budget. They
But
need.
see, that's the thing. But here's the thing, and that's where disagree with you. It's the governor's job to make sure that the state is running efficiently and everything else. The governor's job is to worry about the state itself. Obviously, House of Reps and senators are that are up in Congress are up. They're federal, so they have to worry about the federal government. All right, we really have to change the subject. We've been talking about this for damn near 40 minutes almost.
Yeah, but it's a topic that I think it's one that we need to like push forward more. Like we really need to institute. I mean, can you agree with me on that one? Like the people should be making the vote for how to limit politicians' power, not the politicians.
Hold on. So real quick, I'm gonna say yes. I agree with what you're saying there, but in terms of salary, how about this? This is coming from someone in my chat. I'm not going to say who, but 85K for across the board for them. Just say yes, you bastard.
Okay, I could agree with 85K, and then you know, just you know, every year you figure out a number to increase them slowly. 85 as a start, and as they go in through their 20 years, they get some raises just like any other job. But they have to do 20 years minimum in the federal government to earn the full salary that they leave with.
Yeah, that's yes, I can agree with that. And this is
And
just
then per the state, obviously,
you
you
won't let
give
me
them a
finish
little
or
bit
you want
more
to keep
money
cutting
because
me off, you son bitch.
because the living quality in the state.
You keep cutting me off, son bitch. I'm gonna stab you.
Brr.
Shut up and listen. So, and this is just for the one individual. This is just for my chat. We did discuss term limits, and we did agree upon term limits in terms of they can have a maximum of 20 years in the Congress, and no more than that.
So basically, it's like no, like we're not putting a limit on how setting a limit on how long they could stay in per se. We put an age limit. We're agreeing that 60 years old, you cannot, if you're still in, if you're still serving a term and you turn 60, okay, you could finish, but you can't reelect after that. But 10 terms, 20 years as a congressman, 4 years, 6 years, 4 terms for a senator.
I would say it's a combination of both. You can't be 60 but for re-election for either office, but you can only do 24 years or 20 years, I should say, 24 in terms of a senator. But moving on from that, I understand it's a real world thing. We need to push it more. It's putting my ass to sleep. So unless you're willing to cough up a Mountain Dew for me, we gotta change the subject, bro.
No, you're not getting one.
Give me a Dr. Pepper.
No. Okay, but we agree that the people should vote on this. Not anybody in politics. The people should begin that vote.
Yes, I agree with that.
Cool. So further research will be done. The last little tidbit on news. This one will be quick because we don't give a real big shit about this douchebag. But Jesse Smollett, little bitch boy.
Jesse Snitchy Snitch. Oh wait, fake snitch.
Yeah, I was about to say that boy snitched on himself because this dude cannot plan his own assault.
Anyways, Fuckstick got released. It's bullshit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he got
He
released.
can fucking fall in a hole and die.
He got released on a 150-day sentence in jail, which could have been 75 days with good behavior. And the dude didn't want to do it. So now he's out while his appeal is processing. So however long that appeal process is, he has to go through that. Spend more money on his lawyers and all this bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, this dude has become broke because he doesn't want to admit that he fucked himself over so bad.
All right, moving on. Next topic, please. You're killing me here.
Like I said, that was going to be quick because that dude's a fucking fuck nugget. Well, on a lighter note, and one in my wheelhouse, because I loves this anime, Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. The first season is over, but they just released an OVA. If you don't know Mushoku Tensei, it is what do they phrase it as, Tim? For anime?
An isekai?
Is that just on the relationship thing?
No, that's Hey, bus came and smacked your ass, and now you're in a different fucking world.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's the term for that. Okay, so it is an isekai anime. Dude's reincarnated into another world after dying a very weird death.
He got hit by a bus.
Trying to save people, quote unquote, because he didn't actually save anybody. He just got ran over by a truck or a bus, whatever. So he's reincarnated into another world. As of the end of the first season of anime, he was going on as an adventurer, and during that time frame, he has a companion with him. God, your fucking chair. Get some WD-40 on that shit, bitch. Uh, he has a traveling companion named Eris, who he was teaching magic to before they got teleported across the world. And when they eventually meet up with his dad in a major city, she goes off on her own little one day adventure killing goblins. And during that adventure, she gets introduced to a new character that's coming in the next season. His name is Cliff Grimoire.
I'm just gonna say this now. I haven't watched it, so you're spoiling this for me, you son of a bitch.
I don't care. You should have watched it, motherfucker. And it's an OVA. Who really gives a fuck about you not watching it? But we got another character introduced. His name is Cliff Grimoire. And later in the episode, they introduce another character who is not really going to be too important. But her name is Teresa. And she is actually the sister of Rudius Greyrat's mom. Zenith Greyrat is Rudius's mother. Teresa is one of her sisters. They show her character, and then they also show this other character who is a cursed child. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But, Tim, this cursed child character, if I recall correctly, is the one that caused Rudius's teleportation into the world.
Meh. I'm like trying not to pay attention to you because you're spoiling shit for me, and I hate that.
No, if I was spoiling it for you, it would be a movie. This is an OVA, so you could go fuck yourself.
You're still ruining it because I haven't seen it, you bastard.
It's 30 fucking minutes.
Spoil.
I don't give a fuck about you with this show. I love this show. I love the books. The story's great. So you go fuck off.
I just might.
You're disgusting.
Moving on before I lose my shit right now because I'm trying not to laugh at certain things right now. What do we have besides the anime stuff?
Well, unless you have anything else to talk about on anime, Mushoku Tensei is kind of the really only big thing that came out for the moment. At least as a random. So, at that point, Tim, do you want to go into Star Wars?
Yes, please.
Okay, Star Wars. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. The bane of our existence. This lovely, lovely saga of epicness.
Hold on. We will say the first 6 is a saga of epicness. The last 3 is a saga of shitness.
Okay, but there is the one redheaded stepchild that did amazing.
Rogue One, yes.
Yes, that one did amazing. I actually watched a video where they actually talked about apparently the actress that did Scarlet Witch. I think it was, what was it? Olivia Olsen was the sister that did it. You're no fucking help.
I don't know, dude. Oh, and you can't forget about Kenobi. Kenobi will be a good one too.
Yeah, but we already mentioned that because they did the trailer like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true. We mentioned it.
I mean, we're gonna have a lot of X-Men news. X. I'm looking at shit on fucking
X-Men. You dumbass.
I'm looking at a lot of shit on Wikipedia right now, so.
Anyways, so
but on Star Wars note, in May we're gonna have a lot to talk about of Star Wars. A lot to talk about. Okay, Elizabeth Olsen is the actress for Scarlet Witch. Well, Elizabeth Olsen apparently should have a contract to be one of the actresses in an upcoming Star Wars movie. And it might be also alongside Keanu Reeves and somebody else. As soon as I heard him say Keanu Reeves, I'm like, oh fucking god.
Yeah, but anyways, changing the subject on that. I know my chair squeaks a lot. I don't care. Fuck you. I can't afford an expensive ass lab chair. Anyways, bringing up the mods I talked about last
Well,
week.
man, we're still talking about Star Wars.
That is what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but put a
But
pause
it's
on
a
the game.
Star Wars mod, you bitch.
Yeah, I know that, but put a pause on it. I mean, shit.
It's
Shit.
Star Wars related and has some stuff I want to bring up anyways. So fuck
Who said
you,
I was
hoe.
dumb, motherfucker?
Me, bitch.
Fuck no, I'm not, bitch.
Continue.
Okay, so she is supposed to be one of the fucking actresses signed on for a Star Wars movie. Apparently, when it comes down to Star Wars right now, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas are kind of heading the realm of the Star Wars universe going forward, I guess, in the Lucas Arts.
Good, because J.J. Abrams did
Shit.
fucking shit.
Yeah, he destroyed that motherfucker. He destroyed it.
Now, can I say something, please? Fuck.
Yeah, I could let you speak.
No, fuck you, hoe. I'm gonna talk about those mods. I know it's gaming, but it's a Star Wars game, and it's a Star Wars. It's an interesting mod. So bite me, hooker. All right.
Hookers.
So I love them. Just kidding.
You don't want to get killed by your wife.
Um. Anyways, uh, the game is called, obviously like last week, it's called Star Wars Empire War, and the mod that I'm going to talk about specifically is going to be called the Fall of the Republic mod. Now, I have played it more extensively since then, and so the way it looks to me is the mod is very well fleshed out. It's a good mod. They from my understanding and from my research, they will more than likely continue updating it and everything else and keeping it up on track. Now, uh, the uh, sorry, I got distracted by my chat. He's trying to defend J.J. Abrams right now. I'm about to ream his ass.
Wait. Who's trying to defend J.J. Abrams?
I give you a hint. His name rhymes with Prake.
Oh, that son of a bitch is crazy. The only thing he's so far done that's good, really, is fucking Star Trek. The Star Trek movies were good. They were good. This man sucked at making Star Wars movies. He literally took.
My bad. Hold on. He said he's not defending. So he said basically J.J. Abrams brought nostalgia with 7, right? He messed up the flow of 8, and then the 9th he salvaged what he could, but he still couldn't pull it off. I mean, it just sounds kind of like my best friend, and in his love life, he can't pull anything off. Anyways, back to my mod.
Okay, you want to get back to those
Yeah.
statements in a minute?
Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that before Satan himself shows up.
Those are some fighting words in that conversation right there.
I'm gonna die next week.
I think we're gonna have to do an episode with Drake, and we just do all Star Wars, and we just bitch at each other.
Anyways, that motherfucker can't spell. Anyways, fucking, he can't even spell the word dumb. What an idiot. Anyways, so the mod breaks it down like this. You have, obviously, you can play as the Republic or you can play as the CIS. Now, both start off with their own planets, but just like with the CIS, the Republic also has, I guess you could say allied worlds that will, join them if you can do certain things, raise their, I don't know, their influence or something with them. I don't know how the Republic plays out. The Separatist plays out with, you have to earn their support of each individual faction. So like the Trade Federation, the Techno Union, the Guild Bank, all of them that sided with the CIS, they're still their own separate faction. So you have to basically get them to really, really like you. Once you get their influence or whatever, up their support up to 100%, they will automatically join your faction. Now the cool thing is that they even if I don't control those worlds, I can still move my fleets through their systems without having to actually fight them because they're considered allies. Uh, Now, as far as progressing the eras go, like in the base game and the expansion, there is no real progressing the eras yourself. every 30 weeks, as far as I've seen, as far as I can tell, as soon as week 30 hits, you go up a tech level. Or and that's how it goes. Now certain worlds can build certain ships, not every single world can build ships. And again, some can build capitals ships, some can't. Now the capital ships for the separatists are pretty good. I mean, they've got the trade federate the trademark trade federation battleships, the big fucking donuts. They've got I don't know if you remember or not, Brandon, but the Malevolent from the Clone Wars, the big ass ship that had the ion cannons on the side.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's another one that they have. Obviously, they have some more.
Just on a
Um,
caveat, what is the power level of the Malevolent? Is this like equal to
so that I cannot tell you. I'm currently in my playthrough. I'm currently building it and
No,
making
I'm
it
just
part of
talking about
one.
like reality level. Is it equal to the Executor, or is it?
I would say it's closer to. I'd say it's a good mix between the Executor and
The Eclipse?
yeah, the Eclipse, but not quite with the firepower. Like the Malevolent more relied on those ion cannons that disable the enemy ships, and then what turbo laser batteries they had on there. I don't know how many they had. Would actually go to town and just destroy these completely and helpless Republic
Yeah, but at
ships.
that point you're okay. It's still basically counted as like a sneak attack vessel as long as it gets that ion
Pretty
cannon
much.
off. Well, I mean, from what Clone Wars showed, its ion cannon range was still pretty damn great. So
Oh yeah, no, it's ion cannon. It's ion cannons. Yeah, range was still pretty damn. You know, had a good distance to it. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's it's still it's still a good sneak attack ship against small, and I would say very small Republic. Amount of small Republic ships. But as being incorporated into a fleet, that would have to be a whole nother ballgame because you had to make sure none of your ships, like they would have to make sure
yeah,
none of their
it would
ships are.
literally have to be the
Yeah.
point of the spear. Like it'll have to be like charging by itself, like a few like 500 yards or whatever in Star Wars Revelation. It would have to start just trudge by itself forward and then do what it needs to do, and then the fleet come in after it. You could send it with some fighter escorts. I mean, that would be fine, but you'd have to tell them to get the fuck out the way as soon as they're about to fire.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much all it is. I mean it was still a fucking great ship in my opinion, but nowhere near as badass as the Eclipse or as the Executor class super star destroyers.
No matter what, those things are just fucking
But
beautiful.
anyways, that's pretty much how the game plays out. The game still played in terms of buying stuff and everything else. It's just like the base game and the expansion. The funds are automatically taken out uh, from your faction's current treasury or whatever you want to call it. So it's a very different realm of a mod versus the Empire at War remake mod, where the money is slowly drained from your treasury. But beyond that, I haven't found any. I found a couple. I found one more new mod. I have not played it yet, but it's called Thrawn's Revenge, and that will probably be my next one because from what I've seen of gameplay of it, it has the Hapes Consortium, and that will be a fun playthrough.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, dude, they are losing so much money not trying to make newer Empire at War games because that game has basically been owned by the mod community for the last like 20 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still a great game. I mean, it's still going strong. I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, it is what it is, but at the same time, I would love to see like, you know, a newer one with, obviously upgraded graphics and everything else, but that's probably never going to happen. Um, I mean, hell,
If a
look
company
at it
wants
this way.
money, they'll do it. I mean, seriously, Total War should try and. Well, I mean, at this point, technically speaking, I think if Total War wanted to go ahead and get a license to basically do another Empire at War, they can, because EA has lost the exclusivity contract. That contract is gone. So I think if Total War wanted to,
Yeah,
they
but you
could.
got to think of how Total War, you got to look at their games that Total War has made. Their games have always been grand strategy RTS games.
It's still
Never really
it's an
anything of
RTS game. It's still an
that
RTS
kind.
game. They could
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
still an RTS, but you got to think they've never had to deal with, you know, space battles and all that other kind of jazz. I mean, now, yeah, they've delved into the realm of fantasy with the
It's
Warhammer
still the same type
series.
of overlay. You're just taking those mechanics and putting a Star Wars skin on top of it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, really, I'd be down for that. That'd be, a pretty interesting Total War, and I definitely would get it.
I mean, either that or
But
Stardock could pick it up.
yeah, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. I mean, hell, and I know I'm gonna change the subject again, uh, but just like with any other game, popular game like Fable, for example, the Fable series, for example, that's a great fucking game. But guess what? Lionhead Studios that made it, correct me if I'm wrong, they went out of business or they sold. They sold out, did they not?
I'm not 100% sure on that one. You'd have to Google that really quick. I mean, I tried to play one of the Fable games. A friend let me borrow it, and I ran into this fucking weird glitch at the beginning. So I lasted all but like 15 minutes, and it like the game would not let me continue on. It was some weird glitch, and it just I'm like, dude, I can't keep going. And at that point, that was before like YouTube really did a lot more YouTubey stuff of like playthroughs and shit.
Yeah, see, I got that. Like I said, I love the Fable series. Now another one that was pretty good was, and obviously they're still making it, is the Elder Scrolls. Now, unfortunately, Elder Scrolls 6 we won't probably see for at least in the two to 4 years. In all reality,
I mean, it's just like fucking Rockstar. They don't release Grand Theft Autos that frequently, but at this point, they're like knuckle deep into into shoving their hand up that GTA 5 ass because they keep releasing the game basically and making all these updates that just like are incredible.
this is true. But hold on, but like I said, Bethesda's got other games on the way, and I mean, I have to look back up and see what they are. But the last time I looked, there was actually a couple of good ones actually coming out.
On that note, has there been anything said so far about E3 this year?
I don't know. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I don't think I've really heard of anything yet because what is the last 2 years has been canceled. Or I think last year they did a they. I think it was 2020 they canceled. 2021, I think each developer kind of did their own online E3. I know that EA decided to cancel theirs this year. They just released that information recently, but they canceled their debut shit. I don't think they have really anything to release or to talk about as of right this minute. EA is pretty much going in the shitter though. I mean, they're taking such a big fucking loss on 2042.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it is what it is, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even tried touching 2042. The fact that I heard so many fucking bugs, and then I hear that it's going free to play at some point because the bugs have basically killed the game. So if they release it for free, people will obviously play it. But I mean,
I mean, it should be like Battlefield 2042 at that point.
I was talking about 2042.
Oh, whoops, my bad. I wasn't paying attention.
Thanks a lot, dick cheese. But I mean, when it comes to gaming, I gotta say, Fortnite pretty much killed it. Fortnite kind of killed the regular multiplayer gaming aspect. I mean, um, what was it? Uh,
Come on, think.
I can't remember that fucking massive multiplayer. Tim, Battle Royale games. Not It came before Fortnite. It was
PUBG.
There you go, PUBG. PUBG was the start of the whole free to play battle royale scene, and Fortnite came after it, and it basically just grew so much fucking publicity that it was such a good free game, especially for people that wanted to play multiplayer. I mean, it's at this point it has killed the multiplayer market. Somehow, some way, it has killed the multiplayer market. So everything's basically having to switch over to a free to play variant. I mean, even look at it. Even Halo. Halo came out and it's a free to play multiplayer experience.
Yeah, I still haven't even finished the campaign on that one, to be honest.
Uh, I have, but I really kind of hate the aspect. And honestly, so apparently the video diaries that you pick up in um in the new Halo game, in Halo Infinite, I fucking blanked on the name. Fuck. The video diaries you pick up in Halo Infinite give you actually a lot of backstory to what was actually going on between the end of Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. In my opinion, at this point in time, 343 really fucked up because they skipped so much fucking time frame that is pretty much useless. They're gonna have to go through and backtrack and make DLC for before the actual events of Halo Infinite because their story is just so fucking broken. Like I watched a little bit of an explanation for those video diaries, and it's like there's so much shit that happens that it's just stupid. And then there's it those diaries also explain what happened to some of the Spartan characters that you don't really hear about too much. Because apparently Spartan Locke is still alive, should still be alive. Blue Team should still be alive. It's like this is very very stupid. And then um apparently Master Chief actually went back to Reach to grab some technology for Dr. Halsey. It's like, dude, what the hell? So much shit was basically just like written and then thrown out, and they made Halo Infinite. I'm like, okay. I want the game that should have happened before Halo Infinite because that sounds so much better. Like, I only listened to like 15, 20 minutes of fucking detail. I'm like, I want the game that should have came out between 5 and Infinite rather than Halo Infinite. And on top of that, Halo Infinite is such a short goddamn game. Compared to all the other Halos, it's not really much. You could just streamline through the main mission and be done within like probably 2 hours if you just went straight for the main things.
True, but again, I'd never finished it, and so
Well, I mean, part of the reason we never finished it is because 343 decided to release an unfinished game. Who would Why would you dare release a game of Halo without having co-op available?
I don't know why would a company release release a game like Cyberpunk 2077 early, and and no one pay attention to that shit.
That's because I mean, I gotta give 2047. I gotta give them a part of a caveat because they were making a game for the next tier of Xbox and PlayStation consoles, and when they did that, they weren't expecting COVID to make those sales so low and those yields so low of PlayStation and Xboxes that they had to backtrack and make a game compatible for the previous generation consoles in a rush. But I mean, even then, even the PC port wasn't really completely optimized. So they just, I at this point for that game, I think they just fucked up so much on their timetables that when it came to making the games function properly across platforms, they ran out of money and they ran out of time and they needed to release it so they could gain money and try to fix it in the back end.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. Anywhoosy, um, we're starting to run out of time here, Bo.
we still got a little bit of time. Shall we shall we dive back into smacking somebody about Star Wars?
No.
Oh, you're just being a party pooper this day.
Yeah, I am because I want to go back to my Star Wars game that you forbid me from playing.
I forbid you from playing it because you can't fucking multitask with the life of you.
I can't do multitask. I multitask better than Drake can.
You have the fucking attention span of a goddamn squirrel.
That is not true.
You had to sit and think about it for about 20 seconds.
No, more like 10.
You had to try and figure out, what's a squirrel? What's attention span? I had to respond.
I hate you.
Yes, because no matter what, I'm smarter than you, bitch.
Well, Drake just said I look like a monkey playing with a football. I don't know how to take that.
You do realize next weekend's gonna just be me and Drake fucking ripping you a new one.
Not unless I rip Drake's booty hole first.
Whatever you do with your semen in your private time, that's on you.
No. I meant verbally. I'm going to verbally abuse him.
You take way too long to make a comeback statement, so he's gonna have about 3 things destroying you before you could even make a sentence.
But in all honesty, though, I mean, when he comes back next weekend, though, it will be nice to have him here, and actually maybe have him actually maybe participate. That's if he hasn't taken over your computer desk or mine, because we know how that fat fucker is.
Well, we know he's gonna go after mine.
Yeah, I mean your chair's the only one that can support his fat ass. So
That and
you're
my
not
my
denying
my
it.
space is a lot better than yours.
This is true. This is very true. So, but Drake, I know you're listening. Just know when you come home, that ass is mine, son.
Like I said, whatever you do between you and your semen in your private time is up to you. Well, next week we're gonna be talking about a lot of shows in anime, so it'll be a more anime oriented podcast because there's a lot of stuff ending. And when next month starts, we will dive really deep into a lot of the shows that are going to be active.
All right, hey people. Next week's going to be a more anime oriented podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of shows that are ending. We may talk about we may hit up about some more shows that are coming out soon. And we may talk more about Star Wars. Hopefully, a little bit less about the politics, because politics really seems to get my buddy Brandon here going. But beyond that, thanks for listening. Thanks for being with us, and we hope to see y'all here again. And we hope to continue to grow from here.
We'll see you here, y'all, hee ha ha, again soon.
Yeehaw!
This has been Georgian Otakus. Peace out, people. Let's get done with this shit.